How's it going, guys? Welcome back to the Tressa's Collectibles channel. I'm Randall, aka Shizukats, and today we're going to be bringing you guys a product opening of the newly released Ayakashi Triangle. So this is a set that is more on the ecchi side, I guess. Notably, this set is written and illustrated by Kentaro Yabuki, who is also the illustrator for To Love Ru. So for those of you who are fans of the To Love Ru series, this is probably a title that you are already aware of and might be looking to get into in Weiss Schwarz. So as far as the actual plot of Ayakashi Triangle, this isn't an anime series that I have personally looked into super closely, but the general premise is we have the main character Matsuri, who is this red-haired guy over here on the right. And so he is an exorcist ninja, and so this is like a world where Ayakashi live, basically like spirits that wander and just they just kind of do their thing. Some of them are hostile and some of them are not. And then our main female lead is Suzu, who is an Ayakashi medium, and so she can interact with these Ayakashi spirits. And so these two are childhood friends, and Matsuri is kind of like the defender of Suzu. He makes sure that none of the bad Ayakashi do anything to her. But one day, this giant cat spirit, the king of the Ayakashi, Shirogane, arrives, and he tries to take Suzu's power for his own, but he is thwarted by Matsuri, but not before he casts a spell that turns Matsuri into a girl. So as we see here on the right side, or on the left side of the box, we have Matsuri in his female form. And so basically Matsuri spends the entirety of the main plot as a girl, and just kind of hijinks happen. And we have all of their friends from school. Some of them are also affiliated with the Ayakashi and Exorcist Ninja clans, and some of them are just ordinary high school friends. But yeah, just a lot of silly hijinks comes along that you would kind of expect from a sort of ecchi rom-com action-ish title like Ayakashi Triangle. So today we're going to be doing our normal product opening. It's going to be one of the trial deck, showing you guys what comes in it and which cards we think are notable or less notable. And we're going to be doing 2 booster boxes, and hopefully able to show you guys a lot of the cool stuff that this set has to offer, because there are some pretty interesting deck archetypes out of Ayakashi Triangle that we don't really get to see too often, such as 8 Wind, and so we'll be taking a look at a lot of those cards as we go through our opening. But before we get into any of the products, we do, of course, have to show off our beautiful case topper playmat. Since this is not an English original set, this is going to be a one-of case topper per booster case, and they are the stitched edge variety, so you don't get that fray along the sides. Very, very nice. And yeah, without further ado, let's get into our product opening, starting with the trial deck. So all trial decks, for those of you who might be new to Weiss Schwarz with this title, trial decks are a 50-card pre-constructed deck. You always get the same 50 cards every time, and it's designed to be a product to help new players get a kickstart into Weiss Schwarz. It comes with a couple goodies that come in every trial deck, such as a paper playmat. It has some tips on the back side to help you construct your deck with some of the cards from the booster set. And we also have the quick guide to help you learn the stuff you need to learn in order to play the game of Weiss Schwarz. Just the usual starter deck sort of stuff. But we're here to talk about the actual cards in the trial deck itself. So this is a red and blue trial deck, and the actual booster set has yellow but not green. So it's a yellow, red, and blue set, and the trial deck is red and blue. So taking a look at our first foil here, we have the 3-2 Matsuri and Suzu. So this is the Climax Combo finisher of the trial deck. This trial deck does come with 2 Climax combos, one at level 1 and one at level 3. So very, very nice. We have both those covered. And this card is an on-play heal and Climax combo with Pants. On attack, you can pay 2 and discard 1 card in order to burn 1 twice and then gain 1,000 power until end of turn. So this is a Climax combo in terms of burn 1 twice. This is a combo that we have had in Weiss Schwarz for I think almost 7-8 years now. The first time I remember this climax combo being printed was in Is the Order a Rabbit, Gochiusa, Extra Booster, where the cost was pay 2, discard 2. So now that we have this card at pay 2, ditch 1, it's definitely quite a strong inclusion for the trial deck, and definitely a decent finisher that you could consider for like an optimized build. Okay, now starting with our red cards, we have our Brainstorm. This is just a front 500 and a draw Brainstorm where you flip over 5 cards. So just kind of the typical thing that we get in every trial deck. Here we have one of the really notable cards from the trial deck, which is the level 0 Matsuri Clean Cut. So the Clean Cut ability is when this card reverses its battle opponent, you can choose one of your other characters, you put it into rest position if it is not already rested, and then you move it to your back row. And so this allows you to attack with cards that you want to save and then move to back row, or maybe if you attack with like a back row card like your Brainstorm, you don't normally want to attack with your Brainstorm, you want to put it in your back row, but if you put it in the front row and attack with it, you can use the Clean Cut ability to move it to back row and then have it safe for the next turn so that you can use its Brainstorm ability. So this is a really, really powerful profile, and the secondary effect of this card is also very strong. When this card attacks, you can give any of your Omiko City characters plus 1500 power, and it can include herself. So this allows her to attack for a very solid 3k power, get the reverse on the battle opponent, and then save your characters to preserve for future turns. Here we have Shirogane. So this is in his like full Ayakashi form. Once Matsuri deals with Shirogane and strips him of his power, he turns into this little kitty cat right here that you see on the playmat. And so we will be seeing some of the like weaker forms of Shirogane on some of the cards in the set as well. This is a card that allows you to play the level 3 Matsuri and Suzu with the Act ability. And it doesn't actually save any of the cost, but it does give it an extra 2k power until end of turn. So this card says Act, you can pay 2 and put one of your other Daily Life of an Exorcist Ninja Matsuri, which is the Brainstorm, into Waiting Room, and you choose one of these from your Waiting Room and put it onto stage and give it 2k power. So like I said, doesn't actually save on any cost since you are paying 2 for this ability, but it does allow you to have easier access to the Matsuri by converting your extra Brainstorms in back row. Additionally, this also has the helmet effect, as we call it, where you can send this card to Waiting Room and discard a card from your hand in order to salvage any Omiko City character from your Waiting Room. This could be a very nice way to grab another copy of the Matsuri and Suzu for your endgame turn. But this is also a very useful ability throughout the game for just getting rid of cards that you don't need and grabbing ones that you do need. And so we are going to get 3 copies of this card here, and there will be one more copy at the back. So the second foil of the trial deck, so we're guaranteed 1 SR of the 3-2, and then the second foil can be any of the cards in the trial deck. Okay, so now we have our level 1 combo, getting accustomed to his body Matsuri, as Matsuri is, of course, originally a guy. So this is kind of like right after Matsuri was changed into a female and has to get used to her new body. So this is a level 1 combo that we like to call the Shizu effect or the cigarettes effect. So when this attacks and you have the correct climax in play, which is a door climax right here. If you have the climax in play, you mill the top 2 cards of your deck into your Waiting Room, and then you add up the levels of those 2 cards and salvage a character whose level is equal or lower than the sum. And so this is a pretty solid climax combo, allows you to get some deck speed going through your deck, and also limited selectivity since it is based on the levels that you mill, but it is really nice that you have access to a combo with some degree of selectivity. And so we have 3 copies of this here, the 4th one at the back. Okay, we have our level 1 backup. This is just a level 1 2500 backup, where you pay 1 to use the backup ability. Here we have a vanilla. So this is a card that interacts with a level 0 blue card that we'll get to later, but I mean, just looking at the vanilla by itself, it's just a vanilla, it has no abilities. We have a 2-2 Reo. So this is a 2-2 Hand Encore and gets 1000 power for each of your other Omiko City characters, allowing her to go up to a maximum of 10k power. And for our first level 3 of the trial deck, we have the Matsuri level 3. When this is placed on stage from hand, you get to look at top 3 cards of your deck, rearrange them in any order, and then you can also bounce one of your opponent's characters back to their hand. And during your turn, this gets plus 1000 power, going to 11k. So Bounce can be useful in certain matchups, but this is not the most useful card compared to some of the other level 3s that we could be playing in Ayakashi Triangle, at least from a general perspective. So yeah, this is very useful in specific matchups and very useless in other matchups. For the event for the trial deck, this is a 1/1 event that allows you to search your deck for 1 Matsuri and 1 Suzu, put them both in your hand, and then you discard a card. So you're going 2 for 2 because you're discarding a card alongside using the event, and then you get to grab 1 Matsuri and 1 Suzu. Pretty useful card. Here we have our first 3 copies of the Door Climax for the level 1 Matsuri combo. And now moving on to our blue cards. So we have the level 0 Suzu. This is a bottom deck bomb. When this is reversed by a level 0 battle opponent, you can send that opponent's character to the bottom of their deck. And when this is placed on stage from hand, you look at the top card of your deck and put it on top or on the bottom. This is a very useful card in conjunction with your brainstorms. When you play this, you get to look at the top card of your deck, and if it is not a climax, then you can put it on the bottom, and then you can follow it up with the brainstorm ability. This essentially allows you to go 6 cards deep looking for climaxes instead of just 5 if you were to just use the brainstorm by itself. So pretty nice little combination there. Here we have the level 0 Suzu Bonder to the 1/1 Vanilla. So this has a ditch bond. You can discard a card in order to grab the Matsuri from your waiting room. And additionally, continuous effect, all copies of your 1/1 Matsuri get 1500 power and hand encore. This is kind of like just a staple inclusion for trial decks, just to have like a bond combo that works with the vanilla. But these are probably some of the first cards that you will want to take out if you want to upgrade your trial deck with more useful cards from the booster set. Now, as for a level 0 that is quite powerful in the trial deck, we have the level 0 Lucy, or as the characters in the show tend to call it, they just tend to call her Lou. And this is a 002K, but if you have 5 or more cards in your hand, she gets plus 2,000 power, allowing her to go up to a very, very solid 4,000 power in the early game. So, super nice card. We're going to be getting 4 copies of this, and this is a card that you're always going to want to see in your opening hand when you're playing this trial deck setup. And then for our next card, we have the level 1 Suzu. This is probably one of the most notable cards from the trial deck that sees use in some optimized builds. So this card gets 3,000 power on play until end of turn, but more importantly, we care about that second effect, which we like to call the come to play Rico effect. When this is placed on stage from hand, you can discard a card and then reveal the top card of your deck and salvage a character whose level is equal or lower than the level of the revealed card. So this does a lot of things all at once. It allows you to discard an unneeded card out of your hand, salvage something from your waiting room, and give you information about the top card of your deck all in one ability, and it doesn't cost you any stocks. So this is a very powerful effect. That being said, it is a level 1 card, so you do need blue to actually make use of this. This makes this card very popular in the 8 pants variation of Ayakashi Triangle because that deck is just running a lot of blue cards anyway and wants to play blue at level 1. But yeah, definitely a really important card to look out for in the trial deck, and we are getting 2 copies. For our level 2 1-cost beater, we have the 2/1 Suzu. So during your turn, this gets plus 10,000 power, allowing her to swing for a massive 13k on offense. And when you have a climax in play and she reverses her battle opponent, you can put the top card of your deck into stock. So it allows her to refund the stock cost that you used to put her into play. For our assist in the trial deck, we have Yayoi, another character who prefers to be called by like a shorter version of her name. She likes to be called Yayo by all her friends. And she is a level assist, and she also has a second effect. When this is placed on stage from hand, you can discard a card to salvage any Omiko City character from your waiting room. So kind of similar to the Shirogane, this kind of gives you a little bit more selectivity towards your end game, allowing you to grab copies of your level 3 combo and just have all the tools you need for your late game. Here we have the second copy of the level 3 combo. And then this trial deck actually comes with 3 level 3 characters, which is not something that we can really say about every trial deck. But this is another card that I think is very, very strong. So this level 3 Suzu says, when she's placed on stage from hand, you can choose one of your other Omiko City characters on stage and put it into stock, just allowing her to basically come in for 1 stock and making use of some like other characters that you might have lying around on stage. And also, during the turn that she's placed on stage from your hand, when she attacks, you can pay 2, discard a card, and deal 4 damage to your opponent. So a very, very nice complement to the actual level 3 combo. And the fact that she comes into play for essentially 1 stock rather than 2, you can kind of think of this as a pay 1, ditch 1 to burn 4, which is very, very strong. And I'm a big fan of this card in the 8 pants deck, just to give you a little bit of extra finishing power. Okay, here we have the other copies of the Climax. We have one of the 2 copies of the Pants Climax that we get, Exorcist Ninja and Ayakashi Medium. And we also have the +2 Soul Climax. What would a trial deck be without a trusty +2 Soul to jam a bunch of damage down your opponent's throat? And as usual, it doesn't combo with anything, but who needs a Climax combo when you can deal 9 damage to your opponent? All right, so now we have the back of the pack where there's one of each of the cards from the trial deck, and then at the very end, we're going to find out what our foil card is. So let's go ahead and see what we have. I believe the SPs from the trial deck are the level 0 Matsuri and the level 1 Suzu. I might be incorrect on that, but I think those are the SPs, potential SPs that we could get. So for that reason, we will not see the Matsuri and Suzu at their regular spot in the pack. The 1-1. It looks like our foil is going to end up being the 1-1 Rayo counter, though, because we just skipped it. So let's just go ahead and go through the rest of the cards and see what we have. And then we should have the level 0 Matsuri and level 1 Suzu. And finally, our foil, which is the level 1 Rayo. Now, this card actually does have a very, very nice foil pattern. Rayo being like the mechanic of the cast. She does like the maintenance work on the Exorcist Ninja's weapons and armor. And I don't know if you can really see it super well, but this card has a very nice like gears foil pattern. And it's not like a repetitive foil pattern either. Like all of the gears are unique. And yeah, it just looks really, really nice. And so just for like a normal trial deck triple R that we normally wouldn't be super excited about, I think that this foil pattern is really, really nice on the eyes. All right, that is going to do it for our trial deck. We're going to get right into the booster set and hopefully pull some cool cards to talk about. So we're going to do a quick bit of cleanup and be right back with the trial deck. Or be right back with the booster set. Okay, here we go with box number 1 of our 2 booster boxes. So as far as the ratios for the booster box goes, you should be expecting to get 4 or 5 double Rs and 2 foils in every box. And then the expected case ratios, you should be looking to expect to get 3 SPs per sealed booster case. And then there are secret rares as well, 1 for Matsuri and 1 for Suzu. Those ones do not seem to be guaranteed in a case. And we're not 100% sure on whether or not the secret rare would replace an SP in your case or if it's extra. If we find out, we'll be sure to let you guys know down in like a pinned comment or something. But yeah, so 3 SPs is what you should be expecting and maybe a secret rare on top of that. Okay, for our box topper, this is actually the strongest box topper from the set, and it's like not even close. This card is super, super strong. This level 0 Yayoi is what we like to refer to as the origami drop search effect because it originated from the level 0 origami in Data Live. So this card says, on the turn this is placed on stage from your hand. When this attacks, you can pay 1 and discard 2 cards to search your deck for 2 characters and add them to your hand. This is a really, really strong early game profile because it only costs 1 stock and allows you to fix 2 of the cards in your hand that you don't need for ones that you do. Usually it's going to be 2 copies of your level 1 combo, but maybe it'll be something like 1 level 1 combo and 1 brainstorm. The main point being that it gives you a lot of utility just for 1 card, just for playing 1 card and using just 1 stock. So super, super strong card. Oh. All right, let's get into our first booster box. It feels like it's been a while since I've done a normal booster box on the channel. I think lately we've just been doing like premium boosters and like the Hololive Ambassador opening. So glad to be back with a normal box opening. Yeah, just thinking about it, we've done like Ruby, we've done the Shauna premium booster, and we've done the Love Live one. So yeah, it's been a hot minute. Okay, level 0 Rayo, this is actually a +2 Soul Climax combo where you give one of your other characters on reverse salvage, and it's also a top check 3 Brainstorm. Definitely an option, even if you don't use the Climax combo, just because of that top check 3 Brainstorm effect. This is one of 2 Climax swappers in the set. The other one is a level 0 Suzu Blue Climax combo. I think it's really strange that they decided to put the only level 0 Climax swap on a Climax combo. But it is what it is. This Rayo is a 1/0 yellow, and she requires you to sacrifice one of your characters on stage in order to use the Climax swap, rather than paying 1 stock. And as I said earlier in the trial deck, the fact that this is a level 1 card means that it is a lot more restrictive, as you do need to have the color required to play the card. And so this one really does not see very much play. We have a 1175 hand encore. Oh, we already have a foil. And based on the background, I think this might actually be an SP. So real quick, we have level 0 Yayoi. This one is a pay 1, rest 2 to look at top 4 and add a level 1 or higher card. I actually think this card is pretty nice for specific decks because there are some pretty notable events in Ayakashi Triangle that we might want to play, such as the 2/0 red event for either the 8-door deck or even the 8 pants deck. So this is a card that you might want to play in those decks. Now, I think this is actually an SP. Yes, it is! We got the level 1 Matsuri SP. So I didn't mention this yet, but each of the main cast of Ayakashi Triangle actually has 2 SP cards, and so this is one of the Matsuri SPs that we could get, with the other one being a not the level 3. Level 3 is the secret rare. The level 0 Matsuri is the other SP that we could pull. And so it's kind of like one of the SPs for each of the characters will be the summer one. So this is the summer Matsuri. And the other SP for each of the characters will be one of the ones with the pink background. Some of them are rare, some of them are double rare, but yeah. So yeah, that's really, really nice. We pulled a Matsuri in our very first booster pack. It's been a minute since I've pulled an SP on the set. We did pull a couple in our Love Live opening, if you guys check that out. I need to go grab a sleeve for this real quick. Hold on. Yeah, but it's been a while since I've pulled an SP in a solo opening on the channel. So very, very nice to see that we have this SP Matsuri. This is definitely a really, really playable card. I haven't even talked about what the card does yet. I should probably do that. So this is a level 1 standby combo. So this card, during your turn, gets plus 4,000 power, so it allows her to go up to 7,000 power on offense. Very, very nice. And then her climax combo says, when you play the standby climax, she gains Twin Drive for the turn, pay 1 Twin Drive, and then also at the end of her attack, you reveal the top card of your deck, and then salvage a character whose level is equal or lower than the level of the revealed card. So this is a climax combo that's, it's basically the same as the level 1 Ichika, choice combo from Quintessential Quintuplets, which is a very, very strong combo. And I think that, at least based on like what I've observed, level 1 standby combos tend to be not like straight up, okay, like, let's not beat around the bush. Level 1 standby combos are typically like worse than 1k1 combos, just because you have that inherent value of being able to bring out a character via the standby. So you see a lot of like very boring combos or more restrictive combos on level 1 standbys, and I feel like this Matsuri is one of the strongest, if not like the strongest level 1 standby combo on a 1/0 currently in the game. I definitely think that other costed standby combos, such as the Nino 1/1 or the Eris 1/1 from Mushoku Tensei, are insanely strong combos. But I think as far as 1/0 combos go, I think this Matsuri is definitely one of the strongest available for sure. Okay, going back to the rest of the pack, we have a 1/1 Rayo. This is a 6/5 Encore Twin Drive. Pretty decent card to play in standby. This is for our rare. This is a pay 1, rest this to choose 2 of your opponent's level 0 characters in the front row and just kill them straight up. This is a potential tech card that you could run if you really, really, really hate Azur Lane because of those Fuso and Yamashiro level 0s. It also has potential niche uses against certain other decks that have very prominent level 0s, such as Luna Hololive. So if you are a hater of those decks, you could keep this card in your back pocket for sure. Alright, what a bomb of a first pack. Let's keep the momentum going for our second box, hopefully. Here we have Shirogane in his little pudgy kitty cat form. And normally he actually wears like this little red scarf around his neck. And so he's kind of just looks like a regular cat when he doesn't have the scarf. And so you can see in the flavor text here, he says, "I'm surprised you recognize me." And this is just like kind of a level 1 bomb. Here we have an on play and on death, clock a character from your hand to check top 3. It's Baiken from Guilty Gear, for those of you who are Guilty Gear players. Oh, and then we have a double R. This is the level 0 Matsuri and Suzu. And so this is a 3500 chaser, very similar to level 0 Milim from That Time I Got Reincarnated as a Slime. But it does have a downside of all of your opponent's characters get pay to encore, which is, as I'm sure a lot of the more experienced players are aware, that's a pretty fake downside a lot of the time. So this is just like a pretty I'm trying to think of the right word, downsideless, inconsequential. It's pretty inconsequential 3500 chaser. Very, very strong card, and definitely one that you're going to want to consider for red color fix alongside the Matsuri clean cut that we saw in the trial deck. Here we have a level 0 changer Matsuri. It has a pretty, or not, this is not the changer, but it has a level 0 that changes into it. Pretty interesting flavor, just being able to go from the guy Matsuri to the girl Matsuri. And for our rare, we have a Shirogane. This one is a ditch bonder to the level 2 red event, which we'll take a look at in a bit. And it also has an interaction with a changing into a specific level 2 Shirogane. Okay, this Suzu is pretty good. She has on play, draw 1, discard 1 with no conditions. And you can also pay 1, sacrifice her to look it up to top 4 and add a character to your hand. Very solid card. And we have one of the many pieces of wind support in the set. As I was saying earlier, the Reo cards in the booster set have a lot to do with wind triggers and playing like an 8-wind deck. So we'll take a look at some more of those in a bit. Here we have our Climax Swap level 0. Again, it's on a Climax combo, which is very, very strange, but this is the Climax Swapper, my lord. This is the Climax Swapper that a lot of decks are going to be playing. Okay, and for our rare, we have a Yayoi, or Yayo, Pants support. When you play a Climax, you can give a character 4K cross turn, and when you trigger a Pants Climax, you can discard a card in order to look it up to top 2, rearrange them, put them back on top of your deck, and then you may draw 1 card. Pretty cool card. Oh, is this the... This is the, like, it's like an Akatsuki for cards with soul triggers. So this is a card that sees play in the 8-win deck. When you play this, you can discard a card to look it up to 4 cards from the top of your deck, choose up to 1 with a soul trigger, add it to your hand, put the rest in your waiting room. Notably, this can add climaxes, so this can be a very nice way to grab your wind climaxes in the 8-win deck. This level 0 Suzu is a very important card for standby. On play and on attack, you can discard an Omiko City character to draw a card. Very, very useful card for getting all your standby targets out of your hand and into your waiting room. And additionally, she is also a level 0 bomb, allowing her to trade with your opponent's zeros very, very easily. We have Memory Kick counter. And for our rare, we have the level 2 Reo. This is another piece of wind support. So this card says that your wind triggers do not return your opponent's characters back to their hand anymore. Instead, when you trigger a wind climax, you can choose one of your opponent's characters on stage, send it to stock, and then the bottom card of their stock gets put into the waiting room. And this only works if you have exactly 1 copy of this Reo on the board. If you have additional copies, that ability will not work anymore, which is what it says on the effect here. So basically, it turns your wind triggers from bounces into stock kicks, which is really, really annoying. It's kind of similar to what we saw in 8-win Data Live, except in Data Live, you get to send them to the top of the opponent's deck, which is a lot stronger for your finisher game, but that effect is also on a level 3 rather than a level 2. Okay, let's keep on going. Oh, here we have the level 1 combo for the 8-win deck. I think this card is really, really strong. So this is a 1/0 4K, and then during your turn, plus 3,000 power if you have another Omiko City character. And then on attack, Climax combo with Wind, and you have 3 or more other characters. You look at up to 3 cards from the top of your deck, add a character from among them to your hand, send the rest to waiting room, and then you reveal the top card of your deck. If it has a soul trigger icon, you may put that card into your stock. So allows you to get 1 card and potentially a stock, kind of similar to like Chloe level 1 from Hololive, but without the resonance. But you do have to hit a card with a soul trigger rather than a card that's level 1 or higher. Notably, though, this does also hit on wind climaxes, so you could put wind climaxes into your stock if you don't mind dirtying up your stock just a little bit. You can put those into stock as well with this effect. Okay. For our rare, we have the 2/1 Suzu. I'm going to leave this one off to the side since we'll be coming back to this one in a bit once we pull the associated level 3 Suzu that goes with it. Okay. Oh, for our next double R, we have the level 0 Lu. This is a stock bomb, and it's also a Fukajiro. So on deck, you can discard a card, look it up to top 4 for a level 1 or higher, and add it to your hand, and send the rest to waiting room. This card is very similar to an ecchi level 0 from Quintessential Quintuplets Volume 1, but instead of being a reverser bomb, it is a stock bomb. So very, very powerful card, very annoying card, and because it's 500 base power, it can reverse itself into anything on your opponent's board and use its stock bomb effect. Very, very strong card. It's not one that we necessarily see in every build, despite how strong it is, because there are quite a lot of very powerful level 0s in Ayakashi Triangle that we may want to run, but this is definitely an option, especially if you want to look for more yellow in your level 0 game. Okay, let's keep going. For our rare, we have a Search Brainstorm Matsuri, and then at the beginning of your climax phase, you can give a character 500 power. I'm going to go ahead and make myself a little bit of room here. Let's go ahead and move Matsuri up here, and move our rares over. Okay, no double R in this one. Oh, this is an uncommon that I think is quite strong in the current metagame for Weiss. So this is a 3/2 Matsuri. She can be early played if you have the level 0 Suzu Brainstorm in your clock. And when this is placed on stage from hand, this gets plus 4,500 power and anti-backup until the end of the opponent's next turn. And when this card reverses a level 2 or higher battle opponent, you can choose a character from your waiting room and put it into stock. I think that this is a very strong card right now because of that time I got reincarnated as a slime still being a very prevalent card in the metagame at the time of this being recorded. And so this card allows you to very easily answer Muron while also getting a stock back that you used to play this card. You can boost this card up to 14,000 with the on-play effect, prevent your opponent from using backups, and then you just kill them, get a free stock back. Very, very powerful card. And I think that this is one that you're definitely going to want to look out for in your Ayakashi decks. And this is also a card that we will be featuring in our upcoming deck profile on the channel, so stay tuned for that. For our rare, we have Soga. This is another Exorcist Ninja, and his effect is a minus soul counter. So when you use this card's backup, you can pay 2 extra and discard an Omiko City character in order to choose one of your opponent's characters and give it minus 2 soul. This one isn't as useful in the 8 pants variation, in my opinion, just because a lot of Suzu's cards are level 0 characters on stage, and so your opponent can just side attack and play around the counters. But I do think that this is a very, very powerful card in 8 standby, and so I think that if you are playing an 8 standby deck, this is a card that you're definitely going to want to be running. We have a 3/1 event. This is just a search for 2 characters and add them to your hand. And for our rare, we have the level 0 Rayo Brainstorm. So this is a Brainstorm 5 for wind climaxes, and for each wind climax, you salvage a character. And at the beginning of your climax phase, you choose one of your characters and give it on attack, top check, top, or waiting room, or surveil for you MTG players, until end of turn. Very, very nice card, and it works super, super well with the level 1 combo that we looked at earlier. Not because you can allow it to rig the top check, because unfortunately you cannot rig the top check that way, but I think that just having the extra flexibility of how many cards you want to move through your deck is very, very strong. Because you can use this effect in order to go through 1 card, or sorry, let me just explain this. So typically the way that I like to use this combination of cards is I'll use the Matsuri's effect first, and you go through 3 cards, up to 3 cards from the top check, and then you don't know if you're going to go through 1 additional card with the top check and maybe get a stock. And so depending on how many cards you need to go through your deck, you can use the effect given by the Rayo afterwards to potentially go through the next card of your deck and make sure that you always have the right amount of cards in your deck at the end of the turn. Maybe you want to mill down to 1 card in deck. Notably, this is also a very useful card throughout the mid-game once you have your 2-1 Rayo established, because it allows you to fish for more win triggers. And I feel like that's like the main point of the card, but I just really like the amount of deck control that it gives in combination with the level 1 combo. Okay, on to our next pack. We have a level 3 Lu choice combo. So this is a, not a Musashi, a cancel burn 1 on the turn that she's placed, and then she has a restand effect at the end of her attack. Or sorry, on reverse, you can pay 3, ditch 1 to restand her. Very, very simple card. And for our rare, we have the Fumio Suzu. So when this is placed on stage from hand, you can rest one of your characters. Your opponent chooses 1 climax from their waiting room and shuffles back all of the other cards besides that 1 climax. And additionally, if you have the level 0 Suzu Brainstorm in your clock, you can play this at level 2. Okay, now moving on to the second half, we have our next double R, the level 1 Suzu. So this is one of the Suzu cards that is level 0 on stage, and she gets 1500 power. And then her climax combo with Pants is just, when you play the climax, you just search your deck for a character. That's as long as she's in the front row. And so this allows you to set up nicely for your mid to late game for the 8 Pants deck, being able to grab cards that you want to play at level 2, such as your level 2 Suzu. So yeah, not the most exciting card, but it gets the job done for what the deck wants to do, which is secure all of its pieces for level 2. This 2/2 Matsuri is one of the more popular choices for standby. So this is actually the same card as a 2/2 Nino, where she gets plus 2500 for each of your other front row Omiko City characters, allowing her to go up to 11k at max power. And on attack, if you have 2 or more other Omiko City characters, you get to do a Crush effect. So you get to choose which card you want to trigger from the top 2. Pretty nice card. Here we have like a closest thing that this set has to... Or actually, no, it has a normal helmet because it has a Shirogane from the trial deck. So this is like a helmet adjacent effect. Instead of sacrificing itself to waiting room, you put this card on the bottom of your deck and then search your deck for an Omiko City character and add it to your hand rather than grabbing one from your waiting room. So this is another card that you could potentially consider for your deck. And for our rare, we have 2/0 Matsuri. So this one by itself is not a very exciting card. It has on play, you can blink one of your opponent's characters, and you can also choose one of your opponent's characters and make it unable to use counters on its battle until end of turn. So yeah, by itself, this card is not very exciting, but it has interactions with other cards in the set that we will... Actually, we'll put this over here. It has interactions with other cards that we'll take a look at in a bit once we pull those cards. Okay. Let's keep going. For our second foil, we have the Wind combo. I think this is the level 3 combo. Not 100% sure. Let me double check that. Level 1. Unexpected Shamelessness. Yeah, so this must be the level 3 Wind combo, which is a level 3 Matsuri that reveals 3 cards on the top of your deck and deals damage equal to the number of soul triggers revealed among those 3 cards. And so here we have some peak etchiness of Ayakashi Triangle. Yeah, enough said. Okay, let's see what else we got in this pack. For our rare, we have the level 0 Suzu. This is an on-attack Akatsuki, or on-attack Azusa. When this attacks, you discard a card and look it up to 4 cards from the top of your deck, and add an Omiko City character from among them to your hand. This card has pretty nice synergy with the Clean Cut Matsuri from the trial deck, since you can use this card's on-attack effect, and then use Matsuri Clean Cut to move this to your back row, and you can use the Akatsuki effect again on your next turn, which is not something that you can do with a normal on-play Akatsuki. So this is a very, very unique interaction that's, I think, maybe completely exclusive to Ayakashi Triangle, which is pretty cool. Okay. For our next double R, we have the 3/2 Matsuri. So this is a Door Climax combo. And there is an event that allows you to change the level 2 Matsuri into the level 3 Matsuri. In terms of what the level 3 does, so this card says when she's placed on stage from hand, you may pay 1 to draw a card and then play another copy of this from your hand for free. And then the Climax combo is just a very simple on attack, pay 1, ditch 1, burn 3. It's a very, very simple effect. Okay. For our rare, we have the 1-0 Lu. This is another choice combo. This is a card that I was really, really excited about when I first read the card, and then I reread it, and I was like, okay, maybe this card is not as good as I thought it was. So this card has a non-climax effect, or a non-climax combo effect, but it's when you play a climax. You can pay 1, and then you can do a cigarettes, which is mill 2, add up the levels, and salvage a character of level X or lower, where X is the... Oh, wait, no. Actually, hold on. This is not a... Sorry, my bad. This is not a cigarettes. This is a pay 1, reveal the top card of your deck, and salvage level X or lower. My bad. And so this does allow you to get extra cards into your hand just by playing any climax. The actual climax combo with choice is when you play the climax, if you have 5 or less cards in hand, you can choose an Omiko City character in your waiting room and put it into stock. And so the reason that I got really excited about this card is because one of my favorite things to do in Weiss Schwarz is to pay dirty stock out and then replace it with a clean stock immediately after. And so I thought that you would be able to do this by using the pay 1 effect to get a bunch of extra cards with the non-climax effect, and then you could just replace all of the stock that you just paid out with stock from the climax combo. But if you use this effect a bunch of times first, you might go to 6 or more cards in hand, and it would make you unable to use the climax combo effect. And so yeah, you can kind of see the dilemma here, where you might not be able to get full value out of the card at all times. That 5 or less hand restriction is really a killer. If it was 6 or less hand, this card would be much more playable in my opinion. This card also suffers from the other downside of this card isn't very high power. It does have the benefit of being able to be used from back row for both of its effects, which I think is really, really nice, but I would really prefer a card that could actually, you know, maybe clear some stuff on the opponent's board. Just a little bit better. All right, 2K backup. This is the level 0 that changes into the other level 0 Matsuri that we saw earlier. So this pairing of cards is not like super notable from a playability perspective, but I think the flavor is really nice. You can change the guy Matsuri into the female Matsuri by putting this onto the bottom of your deck. So pretty cool combo there. This is a bounce back when you play a climax, and you can give a character 1k power and crush. So just really nice card to play in standby. You put this on the board, you play standby, you bounce this back to your hand, and you give crush. Really, really cool card. And for our rare, we have level 0 Yayo. This is an on-play pay 1 ditch 1 search, and on attack you can choose one of your characters and give it 1500 power until end of turn. Just a very, very ordinary but very effective pairing of effects for this card. Okay, here's the 2-0 event, so we can finally talk about... Did we really not pull this before? Okay, so here's the 2-0 event that goes with the 2-0 Matsuri that we pulled earlier. So this Matsuri, like I said earlier, is a very, very boring card on its own, but that's because you're supposed to use it with this 2-0 event. So this card says you choose one of 2 effects and perform it. One of them is you salvage a level 2 or higher character, which can be used to grab pieces such as your level 3 Matsuri, or maybe your level 3 or level 2 Suzu. The other effect that you can choose is you can sacrifice this level 2 Matsuri in order to play the level 3 from your hand, and that will proc Matsuri's on play effect to pay 1 and summon another copy from your hand, so you can potentially play 3 of these onto your board at level 2. Now, when you look at the Matsuri's effects by itself, it looks really, really bad, but the fact that you're using it to change into the level 3 is actually really, really strong. It prevents your opponent from using things like anti-change counters, and it does have some really nice flavor with the way Matsuri functions. The way Matsuri like does his job in the actual show, like he's kind of like supposed to be a defender and exercise like the evil Ayakashi spirits, and so the fact that you're blinking one of your opponent's characters and also preventing them from using backups on one of their lanes it kind of fills into that theme, which I think is really, really nice. Okay, moving right along. For our next rare, we have a Pants Support Lu. So this is a level 0 assist. Level 0s in front of this get plus 1k, which is very, very useful with Suzu cards because they are level 0 on stage for the most part. Allows them to benefit from that 1k buff. And then when you trigger a Pants Climax, you can discard a card to look at up to 2 cards on top of your deck, choose up to 1 card from among them, add it to your hand, and put the rest into your waiting room. I think that this is a definite card that you need to be playing right now in 8 pants because it's very important to meet certain power lines against popular decks such as That Time I Got Reincarnated as a Slime. So I think this is a card that you really should be running, and I'll talk about it more in our upcoming deck profile. Here we have the 2/1 Shirogane. So earlier we pulled the level 0 Shirogane. So this card has a secondary effect in addition to being a Ditch Bonder for the Gender Swap event. So you can pay 1 stock, choose a copy of this event, put it into memory from your waiting room, and then you can sacrifice this card, and then you bring out the 2/1 Shirogane from your waiting room in this card's former slot. So this card by itself is just a 500 assist, but if you have the Gender Swap Awaken in your memory, which you would get there by using the Shirogane level 0, then this Shirogane also becomes a global 1500 power. So pretty nice power boost, allows it to be a basically an assist 2k to the characters that are in front of it, and then it's still 1500 global power to the last character in the slot across. So pretty strong assist card that you can run. You could run this in probably 8 Door and 8 Pants are probably the 2 decks that I would be most inclined to potentially run this in. Just as a nice buffer. It could be a really nice card to put behind some of your level 3 Matsuris, allowing them to go up to 11,500 or even higher. This level 1 event, so this card is kind of like the Advanced Notice event from Persona. So you top check 4, add a character, and you can also bounce an opponent's level 0 or lower character on their front row. So pretty nice card, open up the lanes, get some more damage, and also go through some cards in your deck. For our rare, we have the level 3 Matsuri. This card is a healer, 11k healer. By itself, she doesn't really do anything. She's intended to be used with a specific standby combo. Standby combo Rayo. And for our last rare of the box, we have the level 3 Matsuri Climax combo. So this is the one that goes with the Wind Climax that we pulled the foil. So on play heal, and then on attack pay 1, reveal the top 3 cards of your deck, and then shuffle. Deal damage to your opponent equal to the number of trigger icons, soul trigger icons among those cards. So as we saw earlier with the level 1 Matsuri, that's a comment by the way. As we saw earlier with the level 1 Matsuri, we do want to focus our deck on having soul triggers in order to get bonus stock off of this combo, but also deal damage with the level 3 Matsuri. And so that is partially going to be accomplished with the wind triggers that we have in the deck, but we also want to just fill our deck up with other nice soul trigger cards that we can use with these abilities. So that's our first box. We did pull our beautiful Matsuri level 1 SP. Very, very nice. So let's hope we have just as good luck in our second box. We're going to do some quick cleanup and be right back with that one. Okay, here we go, guys. Box number 2. Let's see what box cover we get from this one. Here we have the 1/1 Lucy. This is an on-play gain 500 power times number of your number of your Omiko City characters, including herself. And she also allows you to refund a stock if you play her into a full board. So this is another card that you could potentially run in your Wind or Choice decks. Choice because you want soul triggers, and Wind because you want soul triggers. And the fact that she can just come into play and refund a stock essentially allows her to be played as a 1/0. I would typically recommend not running more than 1 copy of this kind of card in your deck, though, because if you have both of them in your hand, you can't get the refund off of both copies unless you play over something, or you play them on separate turns. Alright, so we pulled an SP in our first pack of our first box. Let's see if we can pull an SP in the first pack of our second box. Nope, that's just... oh, it is a double R, though, I think. Alright, let's go ahead and see what we got here. Yep, we have the double R Matsuri. So this is the other card that could potentially come SP between these two. So this double R has the Bell Eins effect, or like the Bell effect. Bell Eins. When this is placed on stage from hand, you can discard a climax to salvage a character. Could be really good in like your 8 pants decks if you have extra pants climaxes lying around. And then at the beginning of your opponent's attack phase, you can pay 1, clock the top card of your deck, bounce back Matsuri and one of your other characters on stage. So this allows you to get a +2 if you frontline this and then you bounce herself and one of your other front row characters. Really, really nice card. And then bouncing this back to your hand also allows you to reuse that on play Ditch Climax salvage as well. All right. No double R in this pack. For our rare, we have the level 1 Lu combo. Oh, no way. Is that another SP? I think that's the 2-1 SP Yayo. No way. Oh my god, we pulled 2 SPs in one opening? I think that's the first time on the channel we've ever done that. So we have our 2-1 Matsuri SP and a 2-1 Yayo SP. So this was the third pack, not the first, but wow. I can't believe we just hit 2 for 2. That's crazy. All right, we're gonna have to... Sorry, Lou. We're gonna have to put you back here behind our SPs. Whew. What a good pair of boxes. Holy moly. Okay, this particular Yayoi is another double R. So she has a free refresh effect when she's placed on stage from hand. If you have 6 or less deck, you can free fresh. And then she also has an alarm. If she's on top of clock and you have 4 more characters on stage, at the beginning of your climax phase, you draw up to 2 cards and discard 2. So you do want to be careful about that effect because the draw up to 2 cards is not mandatory, but discarding 2 is. So if you have this on top of clock and then you forget about it, you will be forced to discard 2, unfortunately. But yeah, so I think Yayo is actually voiced by Haruka Tomatsu, who is a pretty famous voice actress. Voices characters like Asuna from Sword Art Online or like Kyoko Hori from Horimiya. She's just all over the place, and she is also the voice of Yayo. I don't actually remember who the voice of Matsuri is. I'm definitely not looking at my phone right now to look up who her voice actress is. Oh, Miyu Tomita. I think that might be... Miyu Tomita is Miko from Kaguya-sama. So I thought that name sounded familiar. Okay, so yeah, so we have the Miyu Tomita signature for Matsuri and then the Haruka Tomatsu signature for Yayo. Very, very nice. Okay, for our rare, we have a level 0 Matsuri. This is a hand to stock, and then also when your other Omiko City character attacks, she gets plus 1,000 power, so it allows her to swing for 4,000 if she attacks last. Pretty useful one of that you could stick in your decks. And for our next double rare, we have another one that we haven't pulled yet. Very, very... Man, these boxes are so good. We're not pulling any dupe double Rs. We pulled 2 SPs. So this Rayo is a 4 more early play. And when she's placed on stage from hand, you can either heal or you can top check 3, add 1. So very, very flexible early play card, depending on whether you are in a healthy state at level 2 or if you're looking to like dig for your level 3 climax. Very, very strong card. And additionally, she also gets 3,000 power on attack. So just a super strong card all around, and is probably one of the main reasons to put yellow cards in your deck, just having the ability to put this card into your deck. Rare is the level 3 Matsuri. We still have not pulled the level 3 Rayo that goes with this, though. So we need to pull that standby combo so we can talk about how this card interacts with those. For a rare, we got the on-attack Akatsuki Suzu. Oh, just ripped that pack in half. Okay. Let's kind of speed through the rest of these packs a little bit since we've looked at a lot of these lower rarity cards already. Yayoi Drop Search. And for a rare, we have the Lu Pants Support, level 0. No double rare here. And our rare... Oh, here's one we haven't pulled yet. So this is a level 0 Suzu and Matsuri Drop Salvage. Normally, these Drop Salvages, they give one of your other characters plus 1k power. This one, it lets you rearrange the top 2 cards of your deck and then salvage. So it's a very, very interesting effect. This is probably most useful in 8 standby, just because 8 standby decks tend to really value not having a standby climax on top of your deck. And so being able to use this ability to rearrange, make sure that you have a standby like on second card from your top 2 is really, really strong. And I think it's also nice that you get to look at the top 2 cards of your deck and then salvage. This also has a secondary effect where you can swap the bottom card of your clock with an Omiko City character in your waiting room on play. This can be very important for cards such as the level 3 Matsuri early play or the Fumio, because those ones require you to have the Suzu Brainstorm in your clock in order to early play them. This also has really good synergy with the Suzu Brainstorm itself. It's not a card that we've pulled yet, but the Suzu Brainstorm, her on-play effect is you can choose a card from your clock and add it to your hand, and then put a card from your hand into your clock. And so you can use this drop salvage's other effect to put a card into your clock that you want to grab off of the Brainstorm. So really, really strong synergy there. Still no double R. We have the level 2 Matsuri. Okay, here we have, for our next double R, we have a regular version of the Yayoi 2-1. And wind combo for our rare. All right, there's our second foil. It is going to be the level 0 Suzu. I think this one salvages the... It's like the level 2 event, right? The 2-0 event. Lets you give 2 of your characters 1500 power and no backups. This doesn't really see a whole lot of play because this event doesn't really see a whole lot of play. But if you really just hate your opponent using backups like memory kicks or like rest counters or whatever, this is a card they could potentially run. But the thing is that the level 3 Suzu combo has hexproof built in, so it's not really a card that you need anti-backup for super... you don't really have a super big need for anti-backup. And for our rare, we have Ricky. So level 0 Suzu Ricky. It's just a normal Ricky. On play, pay 1, clock the top card of your deck, and search your deck for a level 1 or lower character. It doesn't have any secondary effect, and it doesn't clock from your waiting room like some of the other Rickies that we've seen in recent sets, which is actually really unfortunate because that would give it insane synergy with the Suzu Brainstorm. Being able to clock a card from your waiting room and then grab it out of clock with the Brainstorm would be super, super strong. Okay, speaking of the Suzu Brainstorm, here we have it. So I've pretty much said both of this card's effects already. It's a tap self salvage Brainstorm and it has that clock swap effect. Very, very strong card. And it's probably going to be the most sought after, or one of the most sought after cards to pull from this particular set, just because it's just such an overall useful card. And for a rare, we have the Rayo Wind support. So we potentially have one more double R in this box, and I think the only one that we haven't pulled is the 3-2 Suzu combo, because we pulled 1-0 Matsuri as an SP. So let's hope that we pull the 3-2 combo as a 5th double R. Come on, 5th double R. No? Have we even pulled the Rayo 3-2 combo yet? The standby combo? I'm pretty sure it was a rare. I'm pretty sure. No double R here. Okay, here we go. Here we go. So this is the 3-2 Rayo that goes with the 3-2 Matsuri. So the 3-2 Matsuri, as we said earlier, this is just a 11k healer by itself, and then it has a bonus effect that it's like a pay 1 pseudo encore. But the 3-2 Rayo is what you want to be using with the Matsuri. So this card is a global 1500 power to all of your other characters. And then if you have her standby climax in the climax area, all of your copies of the 3-2 Matsuri gain, at the beginning of your encore step, you can pay 2, discard 1, and deal 2 damage to your opponent. And so notably, the Matsuris do not have to be the cards that you actually attacked with. So let's say you hit extra standbys in the middle of your attack phase, you can bring out extra copies of Matsuri or extra copies of Rayo if you want more power. And then you can use all of their burns even though they weren't on the stage to begin with. So let's say you have like 1 copy of Matsuri and 2 copies of Rayo. You can actually use both of the instances of the burn off of the same Matsuri because it's 2 different instances. So There are like different ways you can like assemble your combination of Rayos and Matsuris, but the main idea is that you just want to have the climax in play and then just do a lot of encore step burns with a lot of Matsuris that you did not pay to put there. And then you can use all of that extra stock that you got from standbying all these characters out, and you can use them on burns. So that is the idea behind playing the 8 standby endgame. All right, come on. Last pack, double R. Suzu 3-2. Let's go. Perfect pack opening. In 3, 2, 1. Nope, we missed. Okay, so unfortunately, we did not pull the 3-2 Suzu, but we do have it here. We do have it right here to show you guys. 3-2 Suzu. So this is a card that you can bring out alongside the... you can bring out with the 2-1. So they have a double climax combo with Dream Time, which is a Pants Climax. This one right here. So they have a double combo with this Pants. So first, the 2-1 Suzu says, when you play her on stage from your hand, you can clock an Omiko City character from your waiting room to the bottom of your clock in order to draw a card. And so this just allows you to try to draw into more copies of Pants, or maybe you draw into more pieces for your for that turn, for like the level 2s and level 3s, because you do need as many copies of these as possible, basically, for that turn. And then Climax combo, when you play the Climax, you can sacrifice this to change into the 3-2 Suzu from your hand. Another really nice part about the 2-1 Suzu is that clocking a card from your waiting room also allows you to set up color for red or yellow cards that you might want to play. Maybe you want to play the early play Matsuri. This can also set up a Brainstorm at the bottom of your clock in order to fulfill the early play condition, so that's really cool. The 3-2 Suzu, so this is a on-play heal to memory. You can choose any character in your clock and send it to memory. And additionally, she is level 0 on stage, but she's also hexproof, so this prevents her from being bounced back to hand by like a on-play bounce or like a win climax. It also prevents your opponent from using things like rest counters or money counters on her, which can be really useful in matchups such as the Nazarick Overlord matchup. And then her climax combo says, on attack, if you have the climax in play, you can either choose to burn 1 damage to your opponent, or you can heal 1. And so between the on-play heal and the climax combo heal, if you have 3 copies of the Suzu, you could go from 2-6 all the way down to 2-0 again. And so something that is very common in Ayakashi decks is that you could do some play like be at 2-2, clock for turn, go to 2-3, play triple Suzu, draw 1, draw 1, draw 1, you're at 2-6, play your climax combo, and just heal 6 times. That is a very, very common play in Ayakashi Triangle. And yeah, as I was saying earlier, a very popular card to run in this deck is the level 2 event. So you can use that second effect where you salvage a level 2 or higher character from your waiting room and allows you to grab all of the pieces that you need for your level 2 game. Okay, so we have covered pretty much everything for this set. We pulled all the double Rs. We pulled 2 SPs as well. Insane box opening. And yeah, we're basically just going to leave you guys with a quick showcase of a few SPs. So we did pull a few others. We actually did pull a 1-0 Matsuri from a previous case, but a couple other SPs that we pulled from that case were the 3-2 Suzu as well as the 0-0 Rayo. This Rayo has the same like gears effect that we saw on that trial deck triple R. Just looks so nice. As far as the other SP patterns, this Suzu doesn't really have any distinct pattern. It's just kind of like it's a background. And then the summer ones, I'm going to assume that all of the summer ones have this same background, which is kind of like circles. So it's not super exciting. Definitely the Rayo is the standout SP pattern for me among the SPs that we have here. But yeah, we're going to leave you guys off with that, and hope you guys enjoyed. And we will see you guys in our upcoming deck profile and trial deck plus videos on the channel, where we improve the trial deck with some of the budget options from the booster set. So keep on the lookout for that. And until next time, this has been Randall, aka Shizakats, on the Tressa Collectibles channel, and we'll see you guys in the next one. Bye!